have to hold this. So I look at your phone, see if it's a thumbnail.
My eyes are stuck in place. It kind of hurts.
You can
Okay.
blink.
All right, we're fine. We're good.
Yeah.
You guys can stop now.
Okay. All
I
right.
can't stop.
You win. You can stop now.
Whew. Oof.
Oof, indeed.
Woof.
Bourbon.
I don't say stage free. You should just do it. Yeah. So
Oh shit! I should record.
that is a thing. You should
I'm going to hit record.
Also, our
Sure.
trailer thing is going to play in a second. Sorry, I forgot to go to the
Oh
page
no,
first.
the trailer thing.
Are we not online?
No. Weird. Okay, it didn't autoplay our trailer thing. Sorry, I forgot. But it is going to
Hey,
loop
I'm
our...
giving a thumbs up. Chuck looks happy. Good. I like this. Oh, streaming started 69 seconds ago. Nice.
Way to go, us.
adequate.
We're
Nice.
perfect at the internet tonight.
Hello, Robert.
Yes, because May the 5th be with everyone.
Fuck you.
Are we not doing that again for a year? Is that
I that was 5 years ago now I did that.
Good
okay.
God.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that was last year.
Afraid not.
Lies.
We don't serve knots here.
Besides, it's Revenge of the Fifth. Because it rhymes with Sith, which is the episode 3. Which, if you ask some idiots on Letterboxd, is the best of the series.
Clearly.
I do not want to ask those idiots.
Those people should get the fucking guillotine.
Are those people right?
No.
No.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely not.
What
They just suffered through 2
What
shit movies,
happened
and they're like, wow,
to
this
their
one's like...
minds?
I mean, that's one of those things. It's like, you know, like when we have a bad streak on BMFcast where we're just like, God, every movie sucks lately. And then all of a sudden we get like something that's pretty good. We're like, yeah. This is like 5 jocks easy. And it's like,
Easily 5 jocks.
yeah. And it's like, it's not that good. It's just better than what we've been suffering through. And that's episode 3. It's like, well, it's better than Attack of the Clones. It's for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I hate
I still don't know where Rise of Skywalker falls in all of that, because that movie's such a goddamn mess. I haven't watched it since. It's
I try.
the
Well,
only one I have not watched more than once.
I put
Actually,
it on
no,
in the
Solo
background.
I haven't seen again yet.
Oh, you should
but-
watch Solo again. Solo's good.
I know. So I loved it the first time. So I'm eager to watch it again, especially in 4K.
I put Rise of the Skywalker on in the background, and it was just kind of let it try to wash over me, and it was just like, yeah, that's where it belongs, in the background.
It's a shame.
Like
really.
it sounds like Star Wars, and they're saying some Star Warsy things, but
I cannot. I still cannot comprehend going, let's make a new Star Wars trilogy and not having a plan immediately. Like going like, oh, we'll figure it out as we go. It's like,
and also just like, I mean, look, I know every awful fan has said this, but like, why didn't they just make the Timothy Zahn trilogy? Like, I mean, it would have needed some tweaks for the age of the people, clearly, because that was supposed to be like 3, 4, 5 years after Return of the Jedi. But I mean, it's like you just jettison this thing that was a laid out, albeit somewhat incoherent at times thing, but it's like you could have done what Marvel did and just tweak the ludicrous out of the comics and make it a viable thing, you know, and not just start from like, I don't know, like jump to conclusions, Matt.
no, I love that they took the actual cloned Emperor stuff from God, what was it? It was Dark something. It was the Dark Horse comic.
Yeah.
And now I can't remember, but it was like one of the first ones that was like a big deal. And fuck, now I can't remember the name of that goddamn series, but it wasn't great, but it was fun.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. It's just at least the Mandalorian's happening, and so far so good.
Indeed. So I only have one movie to talk about, and I can talk about it for like 30 seconds, and I'm done.
I have some TV things. Don't think I have any movies.
Yeah.
I feel like I watched a movie, but I also feel like it was an incredibly inconsequential movie. So
It happens, man.
yeah.
I probably have the newest thing, but also maybe 30 seconds worth of things to say about it. So we could let's get all that out of the way, and then we'll just talk about wrapping this fucker up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought we might reminisce on whatever the fuck this has been.
40 episodes of the Variety Hour, everybody.
Yep.
I still.
Who knows? It just might become jazz. We might just start talking about jazz, and it might become verbal jazz. And we might just riff for like 12 minutes about nothing, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And you're like, is this the best? And it's like, the thing that made a lot more sense was clearly better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Whenever you're
let's
ready. I'm recording. Everyone else recording?
I am. I've been recording for 5 minutes now.
Good.
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast Variety Hour.
Hey, it's
Variety
the Variety Hour.
Yeah. Hopefully the last one, if all goes according to plan.
Please.
Season finale.
Yeah, episode 40 if you're keeping score, but who's keeping score anymore? Hopefully not us.
Well, hopefully your podcast app is keeping score, because otherwise it won't make any sense.
True. Yeah, if you want to listen to this in some sort of chronological order,
Yeah.
this is the last episode. It also happens to be at number 40. And I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
Yeah. BJ decided to duck out for the last one. He was like, nah, I cannot be bothered.
We fired him.
Yeah.
He left the party early. He's the smart one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like,
You leave
this
the
place
party
is,
before
this place
the
is
party
dead.
ends.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Man.
That's weird. Was I not just making kind of a Swingers reference earlier and I just did it again? Like, I did not recently rewatch Swingers. Maybe it's just...
You got swingers on the brain, man.
I was doing like a swing music joke thing as I was changing batteries in my headphones. And I was like, remember when swing music was popular for like 6 months? And then I just quoted
That
Swingers.
was a weird 6 months.
Yeah, well, when they went from place to place. This party's dead. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, new stuff.
Yeah, movies that
Sure.
aren't that old.
Uh-huh. I guess I probably watched the most recent thing. I watched Amazon Presents Tom Clancy's Without Remorse.
Oh.
Is that the full title? Like, do you have to say
Yes.
that? Like, based on the
Amazon
novel
did
Push?
present it.
Yes. Based on the novel Push by Tom Clancy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing you could totally hit play on and watch it.
Is this a movie or a series?
No, it's a movie.
Okay.
It-
Good, because I don't have time for fucking series.
Well, okay, so
It stars
is a
that
movie.
guy from the iPad memes. Michael Jordan.
No.
Oh, right, okay.
Michael Jordan is not in it?
Yes, but not the one that you're thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm thinking of the one who's crying.
Right.
Okay.
This Michael Jordan cries for a scene or
Okay.
two because they murdered his wife and he must get revenge.
Oh.
It is. I look at it like this: if this movie had come out in theaters, like I'm guessing it would have, because it's a Paramount. It's hilarious. Again, it's a big Paramount release that is on Amazon and not Paramount Plus or whatever.
Deals, man.
It's strange, but
I feel like
If it-
Amazon has some Tom Clancy hold because they got that Jack Ryan series, and I
yeah,
think they got
maybe
all the
that's
other
how,
stuff.
or
yeah.
maybe Paramount was just like, hey, get some of that Amazon money. We're not going to get
But
any
I
money
also-
from our own.
I also
selves.
feel like that maybe wasn't there didn't they try like a Division anime or something like that? I feel like there was something where it was like, we're making a show on the Division. People are like, cool, and it's like, but it's anime, and it was like, ugh. Yeah. But I feel like that's on Amazon too. Maybe I
Could
feel
have
like
been.
they
I
have
mean-
all, media, Tom Clancy media that's not video games. Maybe I don't know. Whatever.
So as a thing that's on streaming, I think you can watch this and be like, that's fine. I think if this had come out in theaters, it would have gotten fucking destroyed. This would have been the thing that people were like, man, fuck movies. It would have been just like, this thing is the worst piece of shit ever. And it's not. It's just incredibly generic. And
What is it?
It's based on the
Novel, Bush.
93 novel, I think, that Tom Clancy wrote. It's the origin story for John Clark, who was played by William Dafoe in Clear and Present Danger.
Okay.
So he's a military man, and people kill his wife, and he has to go rogue, and
He has to kill them back.
yes,
Oh,
Okay.
wait.
and he has to kill them without remorse.
So it's the Punisher, like, which I'm also going to talk about. Sort of. Okay. Weird.
Yeah, it's incredibly generic. There are two things in it that are really that elevate it above just complete averageness. There's a plane crash sequence that's really well done from a technical standpoint, and there's one scene of him gearing up to fight a bunch of prison guards that is, it's really, it probably shouldn't be as blood pumping as it was, but I don't know, for some reason, him just getting ready, he's in a cell and he knows that these crooked prison guards are coming in to kill him, and he is just doing 3 or 4 things to get ready for this, and it is just, fuck yeah, fucking wreck those dudes. I can't wait for them to open that door, and you are gonna wreck their stupid faces. Let's do this. That's really good, but the bulk of it is just, yeah, this is very much a Tom Clancy thing. There's a bunch of names in it where you're like, yeah, I remember you were that jerk ass in that other movie. I guess you're probably not going to die here because this is technically before that, but whatever, fuck you. So, and it sets up Rainbow Six. So,
Okay. What year is it set in? Is it
Now.
like, okay, so
Yeah.
it's just that sliding timeline thing.
yeah, it's a weird. They basically kept the story intact, but just with a little tweak, and the tweak is almost genius, but also real dumb. So, I mean, you'll know it when you see it. When you see it, you realize exactly what the plot was supposed to be, and the one thing they tweaked to make it relevant for now, and it's just like, well, okay,
Yes,
y'all really put some thought into that.
we have been in secret at KGB base for the last 29 years. Yes.
It's nothing.
No,
it's
it's not
nothing
that. Okay. I just thought, like, we have to make Cold War plot work. Like,
Yeah, but nothing
okay.
that cool.
All right. All right.
So anyway, push play on it. You can watch it. I hate to sound down on it. Like, it is technically well done. Like, there are fight sequences where you're like, okay, stuntmen are doing work here and it's impressive, but it's just generic as fuck.
Okay.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go ahead and mention Punisher because, like, your plot line was like, hey, I decided to go back. I realized I just kind of dropped off the Netflix Marvel shows, like, after Defenders. It wasn't even like I wasn't, like, joining the chorus. I mean, I think Defenders is pretty underwhelming for a build-up show, you know, sort of thing. Like, it was not the TV equivalent of the Avengers by a long shot. It was like, let's all get together and kind of hate each other and never really resolve it. You know, like, it's just like all part ways so we can go do our other shows and have it make sense. So it's like, all right, it's the anti-Avengers. Like, but so I just kind of dropped off, and, you know, the next one, I think I was just watching them as they were releasing, because I think that was supposed to be the general chronological order of them too, is like the real time between the seasons was like the real time between them in most cases. But yeah, Punisher was the next one, and I just couldn't be bothered to give a fuck at the time. I was just like, I was a little lukewarm. I'm not Luke Cage on the on the whole thing, and I was just like, Punisher's next. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna take a break. And then I just realized, like, oh, I've kind of been playing Marvel catch up and watching the other TV shows, and, you know, I went back and watched all of Agent Carter. I don't think I said that, but it being all on Disney Plus, I probably would have started Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, except that's not on there yet. I guess NBC still has hold on that. Is that even still going?
It was an ABC show.
Oh,
it's
ABC.
over.
ABC. Okay. It's
Yeah.
but it's not.
Disney owns ABC.
Yeah,
so.
it's just not on. It's probably on Hulu, I guess. I don't know, but
Oh.
it's.
I think it is. I think it's on.
But yeah, it ended like a year ago.
Okay,
So.
it's not on Disney Plus, so I was just like, oh well, Agent Carter's only 2 seasons, and, you know, I really think there should have been more time period stuff in Marvel, so why the hell did I never watch this? So I blew through that, and that's mostly pretty good. It's just the second season starts to build a thing and then it's like, well, it's over. You know, like the first season was like a pretty good, like this could end and it wouldn't be the worst ending for a single season TV show. The second one was like, oh, maybe we have legs, and then it was just like we're kind of starting to build an arc, and then it was just like, and now it's over. You know, so it just kind of has a bleh ending. Unfortunately,
Shield is on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel weird that like I watched the first season of Daredevil, and then I watched like the first 2 episodes, I want to say, and then just fell off a cliff and didn't watch anything else. And I want to say I watched like the first episode of Agent Carter, and I liked it, but I just never went back.
Sure.
And I have no idea why. And I think maybe it was like one of those things where it was like, because I want to say Daredevil season 2 was like the second anything from that section of the Marvel universe.
Right.
But then it was like, I wanted to go back, but then I was like, oh, but Jessica Jones is out too. And then it was Luke Cage, and it was like, and then Iron Fist, even though I don't want to watch that, but I feel like I might have to at some point. But it was like, suddenly it was like, okay, this is like,
a little too much too fast.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is it's like, they were all like 13 episode seasons. So it's like, okay, here's 13 hours of stuff.
Yeah. And
give or take.
Some of them really did not have enough to fill that. Like the Iron Fist first season was just like, that was 6 episodes worth of content at best, at very best, just stretched over 13. So
yeah, that's why I've started to feel like 10 is like the right amount for so many shows.
Yeah, but anyway,
8 is better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it depends.
And then there's Watchmen, which was like 9.
Yeah, it depends on the over. I think I will sacrifice amount of time if it means they put the budget into like making it better. Like I feel like. That's what I was kind of getting to, is I was kind of trying to dive back into the history of Marvel television, because it seems ludicrous to me that like people are complaining about the production levels on like WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it's just like
What?
I'm like, you are being,
that makes no sense.
I'm like, you're being, albeit like a slower pace because it's television and it's episodic, a slower pace, but you're being handed an MCU film on a weekly basis in the comfort of your home, and for a small fee, I'm just like, you can't even compare, because like I liked Agent Carter, but like it still has that like, yeah, it's TV feel. Like I mean, I think they did an excellent job with the time period stuff, given what I'm sure was a semi-constrained budget. I mean, it's still Marvel, but I mean that also feels like a little bit of like I don't know, take a chance on that, roll with it property, like they didn't seem real sure of it. Like they were all in on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. regardless of what anybody thought, because like that show was on the brink of cancellation multiple times, and they're just like, no, we are fucking, this is our tie-in show, and we're on this train no matter what. And
yeah, but the thing is, it never could really tie in all that much.
Not really, no. It's just like
all it could do was react to the movies. It couldn't
yeah.
influence them in any way.
I mean, if you compare it, like, I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, other than like maybe some of the stuff in the first episode, and from time to time, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's maybe a sliver above the CW shows. I mean, as far as production value, it's not much higher.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy television, and it's played that way. And that's fine. There's room for that, but I just, like, Agent Carter was maybe even a step beyond that, where it's like, all right, well, it's time period. You gotta commit to it somewhat. We gotta go get some old cars or CG them in or whatever, and make it look period specific. It can't all be empty streets at night. That's gonna get a little suspicious, But but it's all pretty well done. But then it's like, yeah, you move to, I mean, and then the Netflix things were, again, scaled down things, but like quality wise, they were just like an even step above those, because it was like, all right, now we're PG-13 bordering an R, and it's like, it's dark, it's gritty, you can have, do the things and the explore the concepts that you can on network television, and it's all well and good. It really fit with that Marvel Knights dark universe, that street level stuff. Yeah. And then, like I said, it's just like to complain about anything to do with these Disney Plus shows is just crazy, because I mean, it's just like they're MCU movie level quality.
Yeah,
things.
they're a whole other level of television program.
Yeah.
It's like basically like just nobody has that kind of budget, because I want to say Falcon and Winter Soldier, somebody said it was like 16 to 20 million an episode.
Yeah,
and like Agent Carter, like, would have been $1 million max,
probably
absolute maximum.
Max, yeah.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. probably even less than that.
Yeah, I remember I watched the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it came on, and at the end was like, you know what? Nothing's ever going to happen on this show.
Oh,
Yeah.
it definitely
I-
happens. It's just
I
probably
mean-
going to be a lot of shit you don't care about because they go into the Inhuman stuff hard, and it's like,
Yeah,
all
but
right.
like just the setup of that first episode, I was like, you know what? I'm new to the Marvel stuff. I kind of want things to happen. This is a TV show on a network. This is never going to be what I want it to be, and there's no reason to get invested in this. So
Yeah, the only thing that mattered in it at all was basically the week Winter Soldier came out. They're like, "Oh yeah, everyone's Hydra. Shit, we're the only good guys." You know, like that was the episode.
yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't Ultron start with them? Aren't they getting a guy who was from Shield, Agents of Shield? Like, weren't they wrapping up some Agents of Shield storyline at the beginning of Ultron?
Well, the one
I
that
don't
Jasper
even know.
Sitwell dude shows up a lot, and he would show up on the show fairly often. I mean, semi-often. I'm just like, he was the dude that was like on the boat at the beginning of Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And like I think he ended up being a Hydra dude too, or stuff like it's just like so they would do little things like that where they drop like random Shield people into the show and like give them something kind of important or sinister to do, and then pop them into the movie. Sort of. That was kind of about as much as you could do, really. I mean, like Lady Sif showed up once or twice. I want to say,
Yes.
like to have a Thor
Yep.
crossover. Yeah, I mean, so it was little stuff, but it all had to be kind of inconsequential just by the very nature of it. So, but yeah. Anyway, but I want I said all that to say Punisher, man, like. I think there's 2 seasons of that too, which is just like, fuck. But here's the thing I gotta say, like, I don't hate the Punisher as a character. Here's the problem: is like the Punisher is just one of those things that it's like all the wrong people decided to think it's a thing you want to be, and it's like, why the fuck would you want to be the Punisher? Like the dude is a schizophrenic, paranoid schizophrenic PTSD survivor, like who's like you would not want to be him. Like, like in this show, I mean I think for all the kind of I don't care what it's doing so farness of it, I do think it's doing a real good job of like you don't want to be Frank Castle. Like dude has really fucking messed up issues. Like I mean, like even when you like what the screen is showing you is like normal behavior somewhat, like for his necessary paranoia in a lot of cases, but like like a thing that will just be like, all right, I met a contact on their bridge, I made him stop like 5 stops or something like that, and it's like he just shows up and it's like, yeah, I also did like these 19 other things to ensure this exact thing happened. It's just like, why the fuck would you want to be somebody who has to plan that much shit and like live your life like that? It's sort of like I always joke that I say Batman's a great character and people are like, I want to be Batman. It's like you might want to be Bruce Wayne and you might want to be Batman for like a scene or two in a movie, but you don't want to be fucking Batman. Like that dude never sleeps. Like he's paranoid and thinking of shit all the time. Like that would be exhausting, and like you would never be able to enjoy your money except to buy new gadgets to fight crime. Like it would be awful
And
to
have to
be
find ways to hide
yeah.
if you purchase those gadgets.
Yeah, I was just like, Jesus, like it would be awful to be these paranoid superheroes. Like, yes, it'd be awesome to be Superman. Like nothing fucking hurts you. Like, I mean, magic and kryptonite, just watch out for those, like, and but I mean, like these moody, dark, you don't want to be any of them. Like, you don't want to be Spawn. You don't want to be Punisher. You don't want to be, like Batman. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even want to be
Yeah.
Iron Man, like when he was an alcoholic. I'm just like, yeah. You don't want to be Iron Man any of the time when like, he had to fill his entire suit with goo to like not burn up and stuff. Like that was every time they'd show him like getting out of a costume, he was just dripping in like green goo for like the first 10 years he was around. It's just, he had to have like heat goo. Otherwise it was like, how else are you not going to freeze in the upper atmosphere or like burn up on reentry and shit? So they couldn't explain it, but like, it was like, he was like covered in thermal paste,
So have they said anything about any of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. universes or any of the other ones? Any of the Defenders stuff? Like, are they just dead and buried at this point?
Well,
or...
the rumor is that like there was whatever exclusivity with that universe with Netflix for a while, but I want to say that's up real soon. So I think the big rumor going around, and I feel like it's like all but confirmed internet rumor, is that what's his face? Is it Charlie Cox who played Matt Murdock, Daredevil? That he's going to show up in Spider-Man 3 as his lawyer, like against
but
the
at
whole.
this point that doesn't mean anything because like everyone from every fucking universe that's ever existed is in Spider-Man 3.
I think they've also said that Jessica Jones is in She-Hulk.
Right. I think they might have said that too. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think they want to bring at least those two back. I don't think there's been any talk of the Luke Cage, Iron Fist people coming back in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I think there was even like talk of like a soft reboot of Iron Fist, like dropping him into like if Shang-Chi becomes, or actually Shang-Chi, I'm going to try to say it right, but like, but like if that becomes popular, then like that, because it's one of those weird things. Marvel Comics in the 70s, it was like, they both do martial arts, they know each other, but I mean, it's like there's a little bit of like connection only from like, just generic not knowing what to do with the C-list characters in the 70s crossover stuff, but it's like, they're not really like interchanged in any way.
Yeah, I love 70s comics, but there was so much like literally, I'd almost say unintentional racism throughout them. They're like, oh, well, that's popular, so let's just do that. But it was like a bunch of white guys writing it, so it just ended up being like, oh no, that was a horrible idea.
Yeah. So
and yet here we are.
Yeah.
Those characters exist.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. That's what I think is the latest scuttlebutt, is that like, Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox might be back. Don't know if it'll ever be Daredevil again. If it's like you said, it's just like, we can fit it in because multiverse madness, or if it's like, hey, we're establishing him into the MCU proper. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as I remember hearing, it was all due to like they had those actors, that version of the universe for a while. Because I want to say that was all that deal was done, I think, just before the Disney buyout of Marvel. Like I want to say like they've like inked the whole Netflix is going to make Marvel PG-13 to R-ish shows, and then Disney was like, yeah, but we're buying Marvel, and it was like, oh well, this is already in the works. Yeah,
Ink's already dry.
Yeah. So I feel like it was one of those situations that was like already happening just before that happened. But anyway, enough about all that.
I just want my X-Men. That's all I want at some point. But yeah, enough of that. Man, I haven't watched much. I actually took my first trip since COVID began and saw my in-laws because I'm fully vaccinated now, and so are they. And we were sitting around and someone's like, it was like Friday evening or whatever. Like, we need to watch a movie. What's a movie? Let's just throw Netflix on. And
what's a movie?
And it was one of those that like nobody wanted to watch anything, and like it was like just like the roulette, and it was like, all right, 98% match, Zookeeper's Wife, put that on. It's like, all right, lady, maybe it's like We Bought a Zoo. No, it's like Schindler's List, except if it wasn't as good and it took place in a zoo.
Does he have to save all the animals? Like,
no, it becomes a way stop for Jews that they are smuggling out of.
Okay, I didn't know the right way to ask that because I was like,
yeah, but no, it is basically it is another set of real life people that kind of did a similar thing to Oscar Schindler, where it was basically like, all right, how do we smuggle these Jewish families out of here and protect them from the Nazis while working with the Nazis, but pretending to not work with the Nazis, that whole thing. Yeah, it's what you'd expect if you basically took that plot and just took somebody with no real flair for anything. And
the Nazis had pieces of flair.
Yeah. Stop.
Sorry. Yeah.
Don't even. No.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like it's the same plot of Schindler's List, but not emotionally devastating or effective. Whereas Schindler's List, like every time I've watched that movie, I'm just a complete fucking wreck by the end of it. By the time he's talking about how many people he could have saved outside by the train, I'm like a fucking complete mess, and there's nothing like that in this movie, even though there should be. There are moments that should hit just like a fucking sledgehammer, and they just don't.
I always feel like I go back to this well, but it's the perfect example for me. Like, I have never, like, in my life had the most opposite reaction to what was intended on screen than when I watched, oh God, what is it? Is it that, I don't think Mel Gibson directed it, but that old soldier movie he made with
We Were Soldiers?
Yes, the one with Barry Pepper. I just remember the montage thing with the taking pictures. I I was trying to cover my mouth. I was guffawing at laughing at how fucking ludicrous that was, and how it was supposed to be this like poignant moment in the movie, and it was like the stupidest images were being washed over my face. Like, I mean, it was like Battlefield Earth level of like, what the is this actually happening? Like, yeah.
I mean, it's that sort of stuff that puts in focus like just how good people who are really good at this shit are, and how much we take it for granted. Like Spielberg, like, you know, a lot of people like to be like, oh, he's just a populist, whatever, you know, like it's kind of become popular to be like, well, Spielberg actually kind of sucks, you know. It's like, no, actually he does not at all. Like,
right, yeah.
He knows how to use the exact way to push in on someone's face, you know, the exact way to direct them to show wonder or whatever it is that whatever emotion he wants them to evoke, he knows exactly how to get that in what has to be the best possible way in each scene. And it's like, not everyone has that, you know, and this is kind of like the type of movie you get when you don't have that.
I'll tell you,
you have like a montage like that where you're just like, no, this is stupid.
I'll tell you exactly what someone needs to watch that has that wants to have the Spielberg doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about argument. Like, I hate to like pitch for them because this is totally like it's an advertisement based video thing, but I mean, selling their own product, but they make real informative, good videos. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the product called Studio Binder. It's like it's a movie organization and screenplay based service, like online cloud based thing for actual like movie writers and shit. But they make these like, I mean, I gotta be honest, like most of them, I mean, some of them are like these really dumb, like, oh, it's all the unique things in the Wes Anderson movie kind of videos, but like most of them are like these masterclass level, like how to make movies and shit and understand like what things in movies mean and like why shots were chosen and why different focuses are used. It's kind of fucking amazing, and they have like all these videos on YouTube. And like I said, they always, the nice thing is like they pitch their shit usually at the very end of the video. So when they start like, and we just put the script into whatever thing, and you know, it's like, all right, well, they're done with the informative shit. So it's like, it's at least like one of those like, oh, you backloaded what you're going to sell at the end. But I mean, like they have, you know, interviews with like Roger Deakins and stuff like that. I mean, it's like, I mean, like if you want to learn and better appreciate film, like I said, I hate to say, because it's like it's selling a service, and I get nothing from them. It's a thing I discovered on YouTube, but it's really great. Like, and anyway, I said all that to say they have one on Spielberg and Minority Report, and like specifically like the way certain parts of like the interviews are framed and stuff like that, and like eye lines and what the real meaning is, and how it directs your eyes to certain things and like, you know, turns the viewer into a detective and stuff by forcing you to look at things certain ways. And it's just like, holy shit, like, you know, if you don't know that someone was intentionally doing that, if you didn't, you know, like I would just go by most people's eyes. You know, you don't realize like you're being manipulated by directors to like look a certain way or feel a certain way or stuff like that. It's like that's what true directors are.
Another channel I like that is a Royal Ocean Film Society.
Yes,
they've got a lot of really good stuff that delves deep into like a specific shot and says, okay, here's why this shot works and what they were doing, and you know, just like you said, like setting the eye lines where you're naturally guiding the audience to be looking in a certain direction because of this.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so if you're bored, it's weird. I've like taken to like starting watching like really long form YouTube videos, like long-ish documentaries, like 30-hour long, documentary type subject things. Like some of the Studio Binder things are like, I mean, I want to say I just watched one the other day that was like a 35-minute, you know, Kubrick and lighting one or something like that. It was just like, I was like, I'm gonna watch this, you know, and. Anyway.
Well, yeah, like any of them that are like that either talk about Wes Anderson or Stanley Kubrick and talk about 0 Point. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna like, all right, fine. The algorithm got me. I'm going to watch this video immediately.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, what about? You said you watched that awkward movie, or you know, a mediocre-ish movie in an awkward setting. Basically, we said all that to say Spielberg's good. Whoever this person was.
Yeah,
this person went on to direct Mulan.
I know. I noticed that. And I mean, like, it's well shot and everything. It's one of those things where like everything looks really good, but it's just not connecting in the way that, like, you know, a story like that should always connect with me like 1,000%. I should be like, fuck yeah, fuck the Nazis. These people are heroes, you know, like help all these Jews, you know, like that stuff is just like, it's like in my DNA. I should be like, fuck yes, let's do this. And like, you know, it's just like, all right, cool. They did that, I guess. And, you know, and I shouldn't feel that way. You know, I should, like, when you have subject matter like that, it just feels like that's like, you know, so like you're a Major League Baseball player and someone's just tossing a softball at you. It's like, yeah, we fucking got this, you know? And it's like, nope, I dinged it to first base. You know, like how did that happen?
It was more like a blooper.
Yeah.
More like a blooper than a dinger.
Yeah. I'm mixing my baseball terms, but yeah. Either way, like a movie that should just be a total home run just isn't, and it's no wonder that like nobody, like I'm the first person to talk about this movie in months. Like it came out what 2017.
Yeah.
I'm probably like literally the only person on the internet who's like, yeah, Zookeeper's wife. You know, I was like, what was her name? I couldn't tell you. I should know, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to see animals like blown up, there's some of that in there.
Boy, do I.
Yeah, because the Nazis bombed their damn zoo in the beginning.
We bombed a zoo.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. You know, and I had that joke in me, and I didn't want to make it.
I got nothing to lose.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Yep. So anyway, yeah, it's on Netflix. Don't bother.
Strong recommendation right there.
Well, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
if you want a 3-star movie about people saving Jews during the World War II, then
If you made it through Schindler's List and Life is Beautiful, and you're like, man, I want some more of that, you know, misery and stuff. Like, yes,
I do want to note, like Daniel Bruhl is in it, and he's like the same character, like
Zemo.
kind of.
Well,
and he's more the guy
Bastards,
from Inglourious Bastards, yeah. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
just like this poor guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like if they ever like if someone's like, all right, we need the lead for this romance movie, he's like he can like he's just like he'll audition it and they'll be like, all right, you know, they'll be like, all right, let's be polite and let him do the lines, but there is no way we are ever giving him this part. It doesn't matter what he does, he could knock it out of the park. We're gonna send him walking out of the room. And it's sad because the guy has charisma. You know, we like Zemo is like for sections of Falcon and Winter Soldier, like the most interesting character on screen. And yet he's just kind of stuck being kind of a scumbag, you know, and it sucks for him.
I mean,
hey.
Steve Buscemi never got to do a rom-com. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like there's just certain people that
I know,
unfortunately
but it's just like
it's
like
their
this
lot in
is like I just feel bad that he's kind of like, you know, greasy Nazi is like his typecast now, and it's like I would hate like if I had a career, even if I had a career in Hollywood, I could make millions of dollars, star in dozens of critically acclaimed movies, and everyone would be like, "You're that greasy Nazi guy, aren't you?" And be like, "Fuck, man, yes, but I'm not."
Yeah, I don't feel as bad for like Big Pussy as I do him, because like it's like, you know, that guy's nothing else. Like he's Big Pussy for life, you know, and it's like
he's just showing up selling the broccoli wad on pay-per-view.
You know, it's like
30-minute paid advertisement.
I was just like, you know, you can't ever do literally anything else. Like, you know, all you can play is Mafia Heavy, and it's just like, hey, it's fucking Big Pussy, and it's like, I'm not him in this. I'm this other guy. You know?
My name is Vincent Pastore.
Yeah. You know,
a name with a long lineage.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but everyone's just gonna. Yeah, it's just what happens to certain people, unfortunately.
I just want to point out the words "Big Pussy for Life" were said on this podcast.
Hey man, that's words to live by.
If I didn't have an episode title literally 45 seconds earlier, I would have worked that one in.
Wait, are you going with greasy Nazi?
No,
pretty sure
we bombed a zoo.
Oh, we bombed the zoo. Okay, yep.
Whatever. Big Pussy for life, yo.
Only if it's number 4 to LYFE. Yeah,
we are closing out the variety hour in style.
Hey, I don't mean large vaginas. I mean the character from The Sopranos.
Yeah,
but I mean also
Sarah.
large vaginas for life. I mean, fuck yeah, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
word, man.
shake what nature gave you is all I say.
I just remembered the name I used to use when we played Quake Online was Big Pussy Bumpensero. Because for some reason, having the last name always made it work. I joined and people were like, Big Pussy. And I'm like, it's Bumpensero.
Big Pussy if you're nasty.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, I have another show.
Oh, good.
I have no segue.
Right. It's tough to segue.
But you know what else is
Big Pussy?
You know what Big Pussy is? It's for all mankind. I took Jack's recommendation, and I decided to start watching For All Mankind. And
Okay, great.
Yeah, that show is fucking great. All right, here's the thing about it. I think I think I told Chuck, I admitted that when it first came out, I started it and just, I don't know, at the time it was like, no, like the brain was like, it's having a hard time. I mean, I think the alternate history stuff is a little confusing because it's like some people are the real people and some people it's like a little bit different than the real people. So like if you've seen the right stuff like 30 times like I have, then it's a little confusing when some of the people are like, wait, that's no, like yeah, Trudy Cooper is Tracy. All right, like they just do like some very slight changes and it's.
There was a lot of Wikipedia searches happening. I was like, is that a real? No. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, Gordo, no, Stevens. That's not right, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, it's just like slight changes and you're like, I'm confused now. But anyway, it's great. The thing I will warn you, and like, I don't know if you should be prepared, but I'm going to because the show's a little bit ridiculous and it works in its favor. Like the show gets real goofy. Like, the show gets 24-esque, like, bordering on Fast 5-esque from time to time. And, well, I mean,
what?
maybe...
You're hitting all my trigger words.
I mean, maybe let's pare it down and say a little bit more like Gravity-esque, where you're like, that is fucking stupid, but also fucking save the astronaut. You know, like, whatever it takes, do dumb thing that is clearly not feasible. You know, but I am on board with this. And it is just... it is a crazy emotional roller coaster, too. Like... It will give you like the highest high, and then it just be like, yeah, but hold that back because also this shitty thing happened simultaneous, and it's just like, whoa, like this is a good show, and I really really dig it. So yeah, I think
I hate that no one is talking about it. I love that Apple doesn't care, and it's just going to keep making more of it.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's so strange.
Yeah. What have we figured out a more why I just say role model? Like I feel like, you know, everyone was like, you really should stop with the whole spirit animal thing shit that people are just casually saying. But like,
yeah, don't say that.
You know what I'm saying? I just what's the new thing? Like
everyone just stopped completely. There was not a replacement.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, whatever. I how about I just adore Margot? Like she is whatever to me because I was like. I'm not that because we're not saying that, but I'm like that's me. Like that's me. Unfortunately, like you put me in that situation, I would become a callous asshole, and people would be like, "Humanity." I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, yes, you're right. You're right.
should do that instead of what I just did.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, pull me back. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got a little too Spocky there for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real good show, and it hit.
You said they're making a second season.
Oh, it's already the second
season's done. They're making
a
third
soon.
season.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, I finished the first season. And I can jump right in the second because I don't know, but there's a time jump. I'll just say that towards there's a couple time jumps throughout because I mean it's like it touches through like what would have been the lifespan of the full Apollo mission had they kept going. I think, you know, if the public hadn't just been like moon schmoon, you know, like for whatever reason, like, yeah, whatever. We did that like what 5 times. Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
get a golf ball on it. What else can you do with it?
Yeah. We got dust here. But yeah, I mean, it's just like it goes through a little bit of a natural timeline of like when the Apollo mission should have been happening and stuff. But like, you know, that it has to time jump a little bit because it's like all right, well, now we're in, getting into some far-flung alternate history now, where it's not just like, what are the slight differences and the implications of this versus like, all right, now things have got to get a little crazy.
Yeah, I remember when I talked about it last week, I kind of likened it to Mad Men a little bit, mostly because of the time period and the way everyone is terrible. But
and they smoke all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but also in terms of the time jumps, because they will just hit you with one and you're like, okay, what's happening now? Who are you? Where's this other person? What happened here?
I feel like anytime there's a time jump, it had it on screen. It would say like, a year later.
Oh no, I just mean
okay.
You're instantly unsettled and you have to figure out, because the show's not going to tell you anything. Right. You have to use nothing but context clues to figure out, okay, where is Don now? Why is he? It's just,
that was the worst part of Mad Men.
Yes,
honestly, like it's a thing I actually kind of like in retrospect, but week to week I was just like, wait, okay, this thing that you built up doesn't matter because now this episode's like 3 months later.
Yeah, like when they got the contract for the Chevy and they were like, oh man, this is going to change, and then they just jump right past it and you're like, what? Yeah. You spent like 7 episodes hyping that shit.
Yeah. This isn't like this. This kind of skips through the like, well, you know the rest kind of parts where it's like, assume like it's pretty similar to what happened in real life, just what you know now, and we're here now. It's like it's some kind of like natural jumps where it's like, I mean I feel like the whole first episode, I don't remember how long into it, where I think everyone on the planet, if they're even aware of the show, knows what it's about at this point, so it's not really a spoiler. I don't. That's weird for a show to have such a Jurassic Parkian like, let's make it a really long wait to our reveal of like, oh no, it's Russia that landed on the moon, when it feels like that should have been in the first couple of minutes, and I don't think it was.
It was.
Was it? I feel like
it was the opening scene. It was just, it took a while. It took maybe about 5 minutes to really figure out what they were talking about. They held back.
Yeah. I feel like
they held back the Russia thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, because you feel like you're watching Apollo 11 moon landing, because it's like the same angle basically and everything, and but I felt like it cut around the world of like all the people are watching this all around, and
yeah. It was good. It was a good 5-7 minutes before they revealed the thing that is the basis of the entire show.
Yeah, but then it's like, all right, well, okay, yes, like and then it's like, well, all right, well, then Apollo 11 still had to get ready, but anyway, skip to them landing, and remember that they kind of fucked up their landing. They still did that, but we're Americans, so we shake it off and figure it out, and all right, and then some other shit happened. Now like it's Apollo 15, and we're here for this, and it's like it's like some other things in between, but it's just like. Yeah, you get the idea of like the ones we actually did. Like, I don't remember I think they just skipped over Apollo 13. I don't think they
did. Yeah, they skipped it. Well, it didn't happen basically. Yeah. Like the events of Apollo 13 didn't happen.
Right. I mean, I assume
call that to Gary Sinise.
Well, I just mean they skipped over it. They didn't say if they. Well, they of course no. They would have mentioned it because everything they were saying were like, well, everything changed after the Apollo 1 disaster. They didn't mention anything about anything.
They absolutely would have mentioned Apollo 13 at some point if it had happened.
Well, except it wasn't. Nobody got hurt. I mean, it was a fuck up, or but not a disaster. So I don't know, but yes, it still probably would have been mentioned when they were like, NASA, stop fucking up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, it's a great show, and I don't know. Is Apple making it available in any way beyond Apple TV Plus? Like, have they put it like for sale anywhere else? Or
I think it's on disc, and you can probably rent it through like Amazon, something like that.
So. Okay, yeah, I didn't know if they were doing that kind of thing, but yeah, I'm just saying it's worth trying to get it somehow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's not an Apple production. They bought it from Sony. So Sony makes it.
Okay.
They very much tell you at the beginning of every episode, it's a Sony Pictures Television.
Well, it also says an Apple original because that's what comes up before everything too. Like,
yeah. I think they just bought it, and they bought a lot of it. And I think so the weird thing is that somewhere in the middle of season 2 is when the lockdown happened. So the episodes are going to get weird, and you're going to very much be able to go, but it's a show that kind of lends itself to that because you can just put people on spacesuits in a green screen and have them be somewhere, and they don't have to interact with other people. Right. So it's not going to be as egregious, I don't think. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But.
Too bad they went to one plot well in the first season. It would have worked a lot better in the second season. Yeah. But,
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be weird looking back and being like, okay, yeah, those were pandemic episodes. Just like we look back on TV in like 2008 and movies in 2008, we're like, oh, those are writer strike things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Quantum of Solace is probably the biggest one for me, where it's just like, yeah, you guys didn't have a script finished and you just went with whatever was there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Or like season 4 of Lost. It's like, you just went ahead anyway. So.
Well, I mean, I will always remember that shot from the first season of 24 when the plane explodes in the first episode, that they had to basically cut around it so that you don't see the plane explode, but the plane still explodes.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, we can't show that. And I'm like, but it happened. Like the event happened. I don't understand.
Yeah.
You like zoomed all the way in on it and had a person jump out of it.
Did they move the premiere of 24 or was it always like,
yeah. No, they moved it.
Okay. Cause when did it show? Cause in my memory now, it was like 2 or 3 weeks after 9/11.
It would have been October, probably.
I feel like it was pretty soon, like no later than like November.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah.
Yeah, like November would have been the latest it showed up, but yeah. But considering they had 24 episodes to pump out, that's another show. It's like part of me wants to rewatch 24, and then the other part of me is like, dude, that's fucking 24 episodes per season. That's a lot of TV.
It started in November.
Did you watch Homeland?
No.
Yeah, Homeland's a shorter 24, and it's real dumb and real good.
Yeah.
At least once a season, the writers remember, hey, we used to write for 24. Let's do some really dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when did you guys rewatched it for No Pretense of Cool? Like a few years back, right?
24?
I rewatched like I had only seen like up to like season 4 originally, and then it was all new to me.
Really?
Yeah. He was catching up on seasons he missed, and I was just there like, and then I had
season fucking 5, dude.
I still feel like 4 was my favorite. Like whichever one had the one-man Counter-Strike Jack Bauer mission.
I was going to say, you specifically after that scene were like, dude.
I think that's in 5. Like where he goes after Logan in the limo.
It's no, not the Jesus Christ is Jack Bauer scene.
Yeah.
But no, that's Jason Bourne.
When he's getting Secretary of State, what's his nuts?
Yeah.
William Devane out of captivity.
Yeah.
That's 4.
Yeah.
That's early on in 4, right?
Yeah. I just remember like all the cool shit.
Because he basically kicks his heroin habit in 3 hours.
No, that's season 3.
That scene. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, as he leaves. Yeah.
Yeah. He'd already in season 4 he left to go work for Reigns.
God.
Yeah.
Jack
Bauer in body armor wasn't until like season 7. That was late. Like marching down the street.
I think that's the final season.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
No, they made like it went up to wasn't. I know.
Well, it's the final regular season. It wasn't the Live Another Day or.
Yeah, that half season was pretty fucking good.
Threw that bitch out a window.
Yeah. The only misstep is the fake out with the missile on the soccer field. That's the only misstep in that entire season. Everything else is fucking gold, dude.
Yeah. 24 is still really good. Yeah, I mean, other than the time commitment, it's all the same stupid good you want it to be, and Kiefer selling it all 100%. I mean, like that show. It's sort of like, like people like to do the what would Iron Man be without Robert Downey Jr. It's like shit. It'd probably be shit. Like, and that's why they probably aren't going to do anymore. And like it just like what is 24 without Kiefer Sutherland? Probably shit. Like I honestly can't think of anybody else. Yeah,
that legacy show was terrible.
Yeah. That show sat on my recordings and unwatched. Yeah, utterly unwatched the entire thing.
Yeah. It was not good. They shouldn't have done that.
I mean, like I said, nothing against that guy. I don't. He can work out all he wants. It's just like he has a baby face, and I will never take him as a tough guy seriously. The Dr. Dre guy, Corey Hawkins, is that his name?
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't know. I just don't see him ever being like I can take you seriously as an action dude because he just has like a. I mean, he just looks like baby Dr. Dre.
I'm sorry, but like it's like making. You can't make another Die Hard that's going to be good, but it's like if someone was like, it's Die Hard, but without John McClane, and it's like, no, I don't want this. I
don't want John McClane now. Don't make
that's what I mean. Like Bruce Willis is a piece of shit now, but like in his prime, if they had suddenly been like Die Hard 3, it's a new guy, everyone would be like, no, it is not a new guy, and it is not Die Hard 3. I'm sorry.
Weird subtitle for Die Hard 3.
Well, that's what 24 was. It's like 24. It's Dre Day. No, it is absolutely not.
His casting wasn't necessarily the problem. That show could have worked. They just went to the 24 well way too many times, like immediately, because it was another 12 episode season. And it was just like
by season 4 and all that.
But it was just like, y'all didn't learn a goddamn thing. Y'all took time off and didn't learn a goddamn thing about what worked and what didn't in 24. And they just spun up every dumb 24 cliche, but with none of the people you care about.
Did anybody come back for it?
Tony did, because now he's a good guy again.
Oh my God. Tony. Of all the people, Tony.
Which was infuriating. Like, when he showed up and was like, I'm here to help, I'm like, no, fuck you. Fuck you, guy.
Tony. Fuck yourself, Tony.
Like, in that first season, everyone was made to hate Tony, and then Tony was like, surprise, I'm a good guy. And then it was like, yeah, okay, fine. And then, seasons would go, like, Tony would quit, and then all of a sudden Jack Bauer would call Tony, and then, like 5 episodes later, he'd show up in a parking garage and murder everybody. Mm-hmm. And then just all of a sudden they were just like, hey, what if Tony's a bad guy? I'm like,
Yeah, my favorite is still Eric Balfour being the computer dork.
Oh, Milo.
Basically, Milo, who gives his life
for the Christmas vacation.
Audrey from Vegas Vacation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like literally dies.
Yep.
Like proving to her that he loves her. And it's like, that strategy didn't work, buddy.
The weirdest thing was he was in like season 1.
Yeah.
And they brought him back 6 seasons later. And it was just like, why are you here? And it's just like, I love her. Blam. And it's like, well, idiot.
Yeah. He didn't even get any bump and Cero. You can't get any bump and Cero when you're dead. Mm-hmm. Milo, think this through, buddy.
Yeah. Way to go, Milo.
Yeah.
You dumb son of a bitch.
Oh, God. I 24, like, I don't believe in guilty pleasure, but goddamn, 24 is like my guilty pleasure 100%, because I know it's absolutely fucking idiotic, and I love just about every second of it. Mm-hmm. Like
well, like I said,
every season has something I'm like, fuck yes, 24.
Try Homeland, just because.
Yeah.
The fact that it's on Showtime, I think will trick your brain into think you're watching something higher brow. And
it's like, oh wait, no, this show has something to say.
It does. It feels like Prestige 24. It's not. It's an illusion.
I appreciate that Tyrant was like, we might be 24. Like, we might have that thing.
Yeah.
And then Tyrant's like, all we took was the dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like we are 24 if like Jack's daughter was the main plot.
Every character on Tyrant was the character you're screaming at in every season of 24 to get the fuck out of there. It's just like, what are you doing there?
We're just like, God, I hope they die, because I hate them so much.
Yep.
Like season 2 of 24, honestly, if you didn't have Kim and the Cougar, season 2 of 24 would be one of my favorite seasons of television ever. Mm-hmm. Absolutely 100% ever.
Yep.
But like half that, like I would say 7 hours of screen time in that is devoted to Kim and the fucking Cougar, and then the prepper guy who she ends up in his house. Like, you forgot about that, huh?
I did. I forgot about the prepper guy.
Yep.
Right.
Prepper guy. He's always there waiting.
Oh, God.
Yep.
I just randomly, like earlier this week, remembered the scene where Jack has to like land a drone that's leaking radiation or some shit. And it's this tense moment of him fighting like a joystick. Like, I gotta land the drone. And then like it lands. And then someone off screen says, yeah, all the first responders ran up to the drone and they died. Because it's just hemorrhaging radiation. I was just like, this is the stupidest.
Yeah, I could love 24, dude.
I mean, honestly, 24 has broken me for so many things, because I've said it before, and it's one of the names I'm never ever going to try to pronounce, because it's one of the things I would butcher horribly. But the lady with the awesome voice who was on 24, the mom that I always say, like,
Tally's mom from Mass Effect.
Yeah, right. Behrus's mom.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Behrus.
Yeah. I mean,
Behrus.
Wait, was that his name? Because like I could have.
His name was Behrus.
Behrus.
Well, no, because like, all right. So what do I remember? I swear to God, I remember her saying Farouche. Or is that just like her saying?
That might have been the husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I know the son's name was Berush.
Berush.
Well, I've heard that said so many times.
I know. I could have sworn his name was Farouche, but all right,
No.
all right. But anyway, like every time I see her, that's like it's literally like it pops in my head. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the name I hear when I see her. Is her saying the son's name at 24? Apparently wrong in my mind. But, yeah. No matter how many times I see her, it's just like,
Yeah. Beirut, a character they built up the entire season, and he just runs away at the end of one episode, and you never see him again.
well, it's because he was a red herring. He totally was like, didn't he have like absolutely nothing to do with it, right? Like it was just like,
Yeah.
He had lots to do with it. Like he wasn't involved with the. No, he was involved with the plot. Yeah, he had like information, and then at just one point they were like, "Get out of here, kid!" And he just runs down an alley, and then it's like, "That's it. You never see him again."
There is, like, God, I love how that show had no logical consistency. Like, if you skipped 3 episodes and watched, you'd be like, "What the absolute fuck?"
That's what happened to me. That's why I stopped watching it back when I did. Is it was like in a not reliable DVR era.
Yeah.
And
how did that show survive the non DVR era?
I don't know.
Like how did that show become a phenomenon?
Because I think VCR Plus was a thing by that time. Like PCRs were like really easy to program by then. Because I remember I bothered. Like I remember for so long as time I was like, I'm not even gonna bother with the
24 actually became one of the smart shows that made sure to release the DVDs before the next season started.
Yes.
So you could always get the season set for like $100 and watch them all before the next season started.
And I fucking spent it.
Yeah.
I spent it immediately.
Oh yeah. New season's out. It's got a 3-minute clip of a brand new scene of Jack Bauer saying the F word.
And when is like, honestly, when does the internet go back and be like, all right, 24, I need to talk about how problematic 24 was. Like how soon does that happen?
I'm surprised it hasn't
because they're already doing it with Mad Men. It's already started with Mad Men. People are like, it's a really sexist show. And I'm like, it's set in the fucking 60s. What did you expect? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I think John Hamm's like third build. It's like smoking sexism and then John Hamm.
Yes.
Like
as he falls out the window.
Because that was the Twitter thing that infuriated me this week. Was like somebody was like, actually, Mad Men was a terrible show, and it's like, don't make me come over there. Do not make me explain to you what makes something good and what makes something bad. Just because you don't agree with its politics does not make it a bad show. Yeah. But anyway,
there was a lot of pushback on 24 being, warmongering and just awful towards brown people and all of that stuff.
It is.
Oh, it is.
But then the country got really stupid and everyone forgot. Like there was kind of not really a groundswell, but there was a like, hey, you guys who like 24, fuck you because it's bad. Then everything got really dumb and everyone forgot about 24.
Here's the thing:
it feels.
I was gonna say it's basically Republican porn, except that except the only
is.
problem is like the ladies do stuff. I mean, except for Kim. I mean, eventually they try to make you think she can do stuff, but like
she works there.
She does work there, but like all she generally
5 she worked there.
But I mean, like, doesn't she just then still get captured and like make poor choices?
Of course she does.
I'm just saying, like, it wasn't.
Did she have like an abusive boyfriend or something? In that season,
I feel like she just had another. She had Chase, who was like another.
She was dating
CT
Chase.
Oh God, that's right.
And then I think after Jack cuts Chase's arm off with an axe.
Yeah.
And we never see Chase again.
Yeah.
I think the next season.
Did they ever get married?
Like, you're gonna work here because it's the only place I can keep you safe.
Yeah. And was it C. Thomas Howell was her boyfriend?
Did they ever get married?
Yeah,
Chase
he was
and
her therapist.
No? Oh, you're just not even gonna let me
he
get
was her
that.
therapist and also her boyfriend.
You're not even gonna let me get that out.
What?
I was trying to ask if Chase and what's her face, Kim ever got married. Yeah. I was wondering if Jack made her an ex-wife. Yeah, anyway. Fine.
Man.
Yeah, 24. Anyway, go watch Homeland. Like, I mean, I'm not saying don't watch 24 again, but do yourself a favor and watch something new.
If I don't have Showtime, it's like on Netflix or wherever, right? It's somewhere.
No, it's on the Showtime app.
So I basically have to get Showtime.
I feel like it might be on like Prime or something. Well, I don't know. Like,
I'll look. Yeah. I'll find it. I'll go on Just Watch and I'll find it.
Yeah. Every time you think Homeland is an upscale 24, they suddenly remember that they're not. And it is just like, okay, you're just doing 24 without the time limit. That's what you're doing here.
And
And
you can say fuck and show boobs.
yeah, it's just, it does that thing.
Dude,
it does
saying
the
all
thing.
my trigger words again.
Well, okay,
It does the thing that the most,
if you want,
it does the most infuriating thing that 24 ever did, which was there's a box that has to be decoded.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the secret to stop World War III is in this box. And for some reason, this fucking box ends up in 8 other different hands throughout the course of the season. And it's like, oh my God, they're never going to get the fucking box. Just get the fucking box. And they do that. They do that at least once or twice. But I will say, man, once you're in on Homeland, stick with it the entire time. The next to the last season has some of the best fist pumping, fuck yeah, fuck you, buddy, get the fuck out of my office shit you'll ever see.
Yeah. I like it.
It is so incredibly satisfying that they basically like create this Alex Jones character and then it's just like, hey, listen, pal, fuck you.
So was it 7 seasons?
8.
8?
I believe so.
Episodes?
Yeah.
Each?
No.
10?
Maybe 10.
Okay.
But it's not over long. It doesn't do what 24 did, which is just like, yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, like thinking about 24, whatever the last official season was, I couldn't tell you a thing about that one anymore.
Oh, I could.
What, like
tell you how much I hate that season.
Season 8, or are you talking about the Dre Day thing?
No, the Dre Day one doesn't count.
Oh, the last full season.
The last full Jack Bauer, like sequential, like it must
the
have
one
been
with Starbuck.
8. It had to have been season 8.
You're not talking about the half season, right?
No, the season before that one, where Jack at the end basically like says goodbye to them over the satellite camera or whatever, and then fades
walks
off
into the sunset. Yeah.
Okay. I thought season 8 was really good. No. Okay. Maybe I'm just misremembering.
See. Okay. Here's the deal with season 8. The first half of season 8 fucking sucks. It made me hate Jack Bauer, and I was like, wow, I never thought this would happen. And then they do a thing, and it's like, oh, Jack Bauer's gonna murder everybody. Because they did the thing.
Is that in the second half? Is that Logan in the limo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I do remember that. I thought that was in a way earlier season.
No. That is the last season.
That is one of my favorite things ever. Is like he just knows it's Jack Bauer.
Yep.
And he's like, that's Jack Bauer. That's Jack fucking Bauer.
Yep.
And everyone is power. Jack Bauer becomes Jason from Friday the 13th.
He does.
Moment. It's like he's unstoppable killing machine, and he's coming for you specifically.
The best part, and it's the best thing that they ever did, is he gets in the driver's seat of this limo, and the one like remaining Secret Service dude is in the back seat shooting his gun at Jack Bauer, and Jack Bauer's just sitting there unflinched as the bullets hit the bulletproof glass, just like, no fucker, that ain't gonna work. So good.
Yep.
Yeah.
The best way to watch 24 now is just to type like Jack kills Nina into YouTube and watch like the 3 minutes where he fucking murders Nina, and just remember the highlights of 24. There's so much bullshit in 24.
Yeah, but you're probably, I don't know. It depends on what people consider a highlight. Because like, do people consider him like tasing the speakerphone a highlight? Because I do.
They fucking should.
Yeah.
Because
like that's the thing is like I think some people's highlights are different than other people's highlights. Yeah, I just remember him going because it was like one of those good Klingon speakerphone ones too, wasn't it? Yeah, like,
yeah,
the bird of prey ones. Yeah.
All of Homeland is on Hulu.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, good. I have Hulu.
8 seasons of Homeland.
Well, are you sure? Because like again, like remember Amazon and Hulu and stuff like let you subscribe to things.
No,
it is.
It is not Hulu on Amazon.
Right,
it is
or Showtime on Hulu. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Man. And here we'd be like doing a eulogy for the for the quarantine variety.
Nah, let's just reminisce about 24.
Yeah.
It's the best, worst show.
But seriously,
I think we established. For me, that might be True Blood. We were talking about this.
Yeah, we
did.
We established that show.
Yeah, True Blood is my guiltiest of pleasures.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird though. Like with 24, there are people that I am still friends with now that somehow found a post I made on my long defunct blog about 24, where I had made a drinking game for 24 right before, like, I want to say season 5 started, and like people found that, and I became friends. Like I know Ed on Ed Button on Twitter.
Yep.
He found me through that. And he's like, yeah, that 24 drinking game. Like, there are people who found me because of fucking 24 that I'm still friends with now, whatever that is, 15 years later, which is really weird.
Hey man, 24 brings us all together.
Man.
Unless it's highly offensive to you.
Right. Then we apologize.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not condoning most of the actions that are in that show. It's just like, yeah, as with most shows, we just established like entertainment is not necessarily saying like, I want to do that. I don't want to be Batman. It's just like, yeah, Batman, do your Batman thing.
Yeah, and I mean that that's what we've talked about with the BMFcast for so long is that like like I've said, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I think like if you enjoy something, if it entertains you, then it did its job. And sure, there might be something that offends you, but get over it. Unless it's like some implicit endorsement of it in a way that is trying to like actively like Mike Lindell's documentary thing, whatever, the My Pillow guys thing about the voter fraud. Like, I mean, no, that's
well, I think
it's a whole different ball of wax.
It's what I was saying earlier about the director intention. I mean, like, they're guiding you to think if the product is to guide you to think the wrong thing or to change your mind or whatever, like that's probably not cool. And I'm not saying it's cool on the other side. I don't want it, entertainment is entertainment, not like, hey, think the wrong thing. We will, indoctrinate you.
And authorial intent isn't always the point of something.
Well, like Fight Club, because you're like, no, you're like the end of it is like not to go like, aha, yes. Like, you'd be like, that was a thing. And I clearly get what this person was saying and why they might think this, but I'm not with it.
Yes. Well, and I think too many things on the internet confuse the intent with their intent. Because if the author didn't mean for any of that, just because you interpreted that way doesn't make it so. Right. Like I think the more, like I've said before, the more I think about Ready Player One, the more I hate it, and the more I despise it, and think like, okay, this fucker just wants us to only wallow in nostalgia and not look forward and make new things. And both takes are valid. Like people that enjoy that movie for what it is, that's valid. And my take saying, no, fuck that guy and fuck everything about this movie is valid too. And I think too many people think that only one is valid. And I think that's where we get into a lot of trouble. Like people complaining about Mad Men. It's like, well, it's very sexist and all that. And it's like, yeah, it is a mirror of the time that it is depicting. Like, it would be disingenuous to create a show that's set in the 60s. And they're like, oh, promote all the women. Like, all their ideas are the best ones. It's like, that just didn't happen, and the thing is, like, and that's what boggles my mind is like a show with such amazingly strong female characters in it that people will have that complaint about it. Like, this is basically the show that gave us the world, introduced us to Christina Hendricks, and it's like, who cares? And Elizabeth Moss. And it's just like, it's a sexist show. And it's like,
I mean, to that point, I will say Firefly and The West Wing, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. But the point is, like, it's what kind of rocketed them up.
I know.
And the thing is, too, it's like, it's not like they never showed the show from their perspectives. I mean, like, you would have an argument with me if the show had never shown their perspectives ever. But we were constantly seeing it through their eyes. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the point. And it's like, I think so many people like get turned off by the fact that, oh, I don't like that. That's, and it's like, okay, but if you're pointing a mirror at it and you're pointing out that it's bad and it's shitty, then I don't think you have as much leeway to complain about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's the equivalent of someone complaining about Hidden Figures as being racist, mm-hmm. And it's like, what? Like, yeah, like, no. Clear. I mean, is it depicting racist things? Yes, that's the point. It's saying this was shitty. Like, don't do that. Like, there's a difference. It's the learn from history so you don't repeat it.
Yeah, and I feel like we've reached a point, sadly, where it's like everyone wants a safe space in their entertainment, so to speak. And like, I don't want any ideas that will challenge what I think. And it's like, Yes, but at like 24, we are fairly liberal on this show, but we fucking love 24. We fucking love Commando. It's like we really
sure the bulk of the movies that we
liberal,
like,
you shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, our favorite brand of movie is right wingers delight. I mean, it is just,
which is why we get so many shitty iTunes reviews.
Yeah,
because people are like, no, you don't love it. You don't, those fucking cowards on iTunes. God, that shit'll drive me crazy too. It's like, if you read the word woke in an iTunes review now, it's like, okay, you can disregard that review completely.
Throw it away.
Because it's become a code word for, or cringe. I fucking hate the word cringe at this point, because it's just like, it's code for, well, they said something I don't agree with, so that's total cringe. It's like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up.
No. Well, I'll take
the worst
that.
Fucking humans.
I'll take that over like the really one. I think the worst use of cringe, and the thing that like makes me want to jump through my computer screen and murder someone in their lungs, is like when something moves somebody. Like, be it a piece of music or whatever, or a video, and it was like, wow, that really got me. And the follow-up comment is just cringe to that. And it's like, you how dare you show fucking human emotion or something? Like, you're so fucking lame. And it's like, just like, please fall on your own edge, Lord. Yeah.
Well, and that's, I don't know if the pandemic has done it or age has done it for me, or just like getting through the last 4 years of like, man, people I like have been treated like complete and utter shit, and it keeps getting worse. But like, I feel like things have made me more emotional about them. I used to be kind of stone faced through movies, and that's kind of like why it's like, wow, Zookeeper's Wife didn't work for me at all, and that's weird, because like I'm in the frame of mind now where it's like, this should have just broken me fucking down.
Oh yeah, I'm in the frame of mind like a Publix commercial could hit me at the wrong time right now. Sorry for people that aren't in our region. It's a grocery store, and they have these really sappy holiday commercials, usually, especially Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's always just like, old people coming home and being like, it's my family. They're very sappy.
Yeah, but I wonder, like, yeah. Yes, and you get a little salt shaker that looks like a pilgrim.
Yeah, or something stupid. Yeah.
But I wonder if it's just a combination of all those things, of age, of, all the kind of, I don't want to put it as trauma, but like what we've all just been through in the past year and a half.
Oh, it's trauma.
Life experience.
Where like everyone's lives got put on hold, for all intents and purposes. Like everyone just kind of like got set on just wait. Because, we started doing the variety hour thing. We're like, this will be a couple months, and then we'll be back in the studio by fall. It's like, nope, here we are a year and a couple months later, and now we're finally going to get there because of the vaccines. And with variants, who knows what's going to fucking happen. But
I don't say this in any way to make light of, more serious cases, because to me, it's not, there's no grade. Like, it's like there's no topping out of compassion. You give what you can in any way, shape, or form. It's not like, well, I cared more. It's like, okay, great. Like, it's not a race, like, just as long as you care. But like, yes, I mean, I think the world is not necessarily thinking about the post-traumatic stress that will be associated with the lockdowns and stuff. And I don't mean like soldier level PTS. I'm talking about there is some level of trauma that is occurring worldwide that I don't think is among all the things that's being talked about, is the psychological effects of what has been going on. I mean, beyond like being surrounded by, death, or talk of death, like that's unhealthy too. There's a lot of things that are going to be different over time, I think, is come to light over time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I mean, it's like, I didn't realize how stressed I was having to go into work every day and having to go into grocery stores and just doing all the shit I had to do until I got vaccinated. And then I was like, it was weird at feeling that stress being gone, of like, if someone comes up to me without a mask on, not being like, oh, fuck. oh fuck, like where have they been? What have they done? Who have they been with? You know, all that shit. And like having that relieved a little bit, it was amazing from a mental state what that did. And you know, and it was, I had not realized how much I had subconsciously had that in my mind every time I'd gone out and done stuff.
You still have to retrain yourself though, because my first reaction is still get away from me.
Yeah.
Like in any circumstance, like,
well, honestly, like being a natural introvert,
yeah,
I don't have a fucking excuse not to go places and do things now. And it was like when people wanted, like when my parents are like, come on down for this. I was like, yeah, COVID, no, you know, and now it's like that excuse is kind of gone.
Yeah.
And that has been stressing me out as well lately. Like that's the new stress.
Having to do stuff
like,
again.
Yeah. It's like not just having that built-in excuse to just stay home and fucking watch a movie or play video games or something, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I still want to go out. I still want to do stuff. I still, you know what? I want to go to a restaurant. I want to have someone cook for me and someone bring me the meal, you know, and I will tip them generously, you know, all that stuff. But it's still, we haven't done that it was like February of 2020 was the last time we did it. You know, I have not sat down at a restaurant and had someone take my order and do all that in, you know, 14 months. I haven't been in a movie theater since I saw Rise of Skywalker. Goddamn January 1st of 2020. That was literally the last movie I saw in the theater. And it's going to be weird sitting down to see Fast 9. I'm assuming that's probably going to be my one that'll get me out there. But like, that's going to be weird too. You know, it's like I guess it's just like, we never thought it would drag on this fucking long.
Well, because it shouldn't have.
Yeah. And that's the other stressful part is it didn't fucking have to. And there are people that are just going to drag it out even further and let the variants take hold and just all that shit. And that just, you know, it's tough to think about it constantly, you know? Yeah. And I think that's what everyone's not realizing. It's just like, it's almost like the anti-vaxxers and the anti-mask people are like in a better mental state in a way because they never gave a shit about it anyway. Oh, yeah. And the rest of us have been fucking stressing out about it for a year and a half.
It's ignorance is bliss. I mean, the older I get, the more I learn that, like, the stupider you are, the happier you're probably going to be. That's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of angry, stupid people out there, but, you know, I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, like, you know, knowledge is a curse, unfortunately, like, these days, you know, like, I'm not saying I'm brilliant or something like that, but, like, having compassion and being able to, like, look beyond your own little circle, like, you know, thinking about the greater good kind of things. It's like, that's like, seems to be becoming a rarity, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't want to believe it's a rarity. I just hope that it's like just not presenting itself. We've gotten off in a weird philosophical direction, and this is strange. Just
I think we were always going to get here anyway, because we have to talk about what we have gone through in the last year and some months is nowhere near what a lot of people have gone through. But I'm gonna be honest about this. I didn't think that the four of us as a podcast would survive this. Like, after a year, I thought, you know what's going to happen here? Someone's going to quit, and then someone else is going to be like, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore either. It's that kind of transitional thing that's been going on, and you're seeing it in other media where it is just, you have used this time to rethink your life choices, and I'm thrilled. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, you guys suck.
why the fuck are you still here?
Quit.
Yeah.
But
because I got no place else to go.
I'm just very pleased that next week or so we will be back doing the thing that we used to do and having a good time doing it. I'm just impressed that we made it. Yeah.
I mean, I'll admit it could have been me if I had to keep working at the job I was working at and hadn't been let go, like, as soon as COVID, like, as soon as they locked everything down. That was like their trigger to, okay, we're paying him too much, get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that dude really capitalized on a pandemic. He was like, no, he's got to go.
Hey, man, you know what? It was the best time it could have worked out, because that extra $600 a week was a pretty fucking nice little check there. But, like, honestly, if I had to keep working and not knowing, and getting home late and then having to hop on Skype, as soon as I got home, like I probably would have missed a whole bunch of episodes, but it was almost like getting let go and having, 3 months of, hey, whatever, like sit around and watch Spencer Confidential and then talk about it, like I probably would not have been able to keep up with our homework assignments. And I kind of wish we had kept up with them a little bit more, now in retrospect, because it was kind of fun. I do wish we had watched Commando for a real episode, because as we talked about in that episode, like Commando is like, it might be the most BMFcast movie of all time. Like I cannot think of a movie more, like if someone's like, hey, what kind of shit do you guys watch on that show? I'd be like, Commando. It's just, the guy's name is John Matrix. He carries a tree around in the opening 5 minutes,
that's a deer.
Yeah. He kills like 95 guys by himself at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah. He kidnaps a lady and like he's not the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he tosses a dude into the pipe and tells him to let off some steam. Fucking hell, man! It's like it's got everything, and yeah. And Raw Deal was pretty good too. Or as we watched multiple Arnold movies, but Raw Deal is pretty fucking good as well. But I'm glad we kept up with it as well, and I'm glad we kept up with the Patreon stuff as best we could. Lately it's been a little crazy as far as that goes, but
we just have to get back into a rhythm, and having a regular thing. We'll get to that. And I think the thing that we learned is that, I mean, no offense, but we don't have to get together at the studio for everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like No Quarters doesn't have to be recorded at the studio.
Yeah.
Necessarily, Who You doesn't have to be done at the studio necessarily. These, I mean, it'll be fine if we all hang out and go do that kind of stuff. But if there's a situation where we can't, it doesn't mean that show can't get done, because now we've established, okay, we can do it this way.
Yeah. And the communal movie thing is the big deal.
Yes. That's
like
pretty
that
much why we didn't do it.
Yeah. And there are other shows that kept going, but I realized that their whole process had always been watch the movie at home, come up with jokes, and then when it's time to record, start tossing out jokes.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, that was just never our thing, because our thing was always like, how did I feel about this movie? How did this movie make me feel right now? What's my reaction to it?
Mm-hmm.
And then, as we've heard in so many episodes where it was like, we talked through so much, and I'd be like, I didn't like this movie watching it, but with us talking about it, I probably raised it a couple jocks. Just with the conversation we've had, having fun with it. And, like when we talk about Spencer Confidential, it's like, it's not the same, and watching something like Old Guard probably would have been more entertaining with you guys, because that movie's kind of fucking dull, but I could see making stupid jokes at certain points that would have worked.
Oh yeah.
And I found some movies watching them, just making jokes to myself, and then being like, yeah, they would have liked that.
I really wish Chuck and I had been in the same room, so that at the same time we could have gone Wings of Gold. Yep. Watching Godzilla versus Kong, or Kong versus Godzilla, whichever it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
that would have broken the room. The room would have broken at that.
I even like did it the second time. The exact same moment when it there's just that shot where it's like, hey, it's Pensacola, and get right up to Godzilla. It's like, Wings of Gold.
Yeah, and I'm still amazed HBO did that. Honestly, that they've got these big movies that they're just like, fuck it, here it's on HBO Max. Yeah. And that people are still like, I don't know if I'd subscribe to HBO Max or not. It's like, I know, like, people are like, we joked about being sponsored by them, but like, holy shit, like of all of the like, just thinking about picking fucking Zookeeper's Wife out of all the things on Netflix to watch with my in-laws was like, how is there not better shit on Netflix right now?
I got to be honest, like, I don't understand how certain people consume media. Like, it hasn't invaded every Netflix app, and I don't remember which one I saw this on first, but there was one that, like, on the profile picker, it has that comes up, and then at the bottom it just says, just play something. I'm like, why is that an option? Like, I mean, That's like hitting fucking random on Spotify, like completely random. Like, how the fuck is that ever going to work for anybody? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm
don't
sure
think
the algorithm picks
maybe.
whatever if you're actually rating things after watching them. But like, who fucking does that?
I guess.
Honestly, like, who does that?
And they make it such a pain in the ass to clear something if you're like, this is actually shit. Please don't ever recommend me continue to watch it or anything else like it. I mean, I've done that with multiple times where I'm just like, I've never heard of this comedian. I'll give him 5-10 minutes. And I'll just be like, not for me, and it's like, clear that from my history. Like that's not it, But yeah, they make it difficult. And YouTube isn't much easier either. I actually recently pulled the trigger and cleared history on YouTube.
Oh man,
I kind of recommend doing that. Like,
what are your blank recommendations? Like, what does it blank recommend you?
Well,
when you've watched literally nothing.
Well, no, here's the thing.
And subscribed to nothing.
Here's what I did is I went through all of my recommendations for about 2 weeks, and I said, okay, among this, what do I actually like click on and watch? And I just kind of started to subscribe to the things that like I ever was going to click on, and sometimes like realize I hadn't actually ever bothered to subscribe. It just always got recommended to me, and then cleared history, and then the blank slate was just like, well, you like this show, like here's another episode of it, or you like this person's stuff, it was like it just based it on that, and then started with like what I started clicking on. But that felt like a really great thing to do, because like all of my like, what the fuck were those? I watch Mojo things, like all those finally went away.
Oh,
like
God.
I mean, just every time I logged in, it was like, you like movie things, and I don't know whatever I clicked on. I mean, I'm sure I clicked on one or two of those either through autoplay or just like, what's this? And then I'm just saying, it was like that was like every time I logged in, it was like, you clearly want to watch one of these listicle video things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that's a good way to prune your YouTube, is subscribe to what's relevant and just clear all history, because you can do that.
Yeah, I need to look at some of my subscriptions, because there's stuff in there that I'm like, when the hell did I subscribe to this, and what even is it? Like, I'll look at it, I'm like, I don't even know what this is anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a good thing about us, is like I think we've been pretty consistent throughout our lifespan of we didn't like become something weird
until we became woke and cringe.
I think we've been pretty consistent.
Yeah, we did. We became
throughout
woke
our
and cringe.
lifespan.
Whoa, hey, what is going on?
Who's playing?
Why is that? I'm
playing?
sorry, but the page just refreshed for no reason. I was like going over to check the chat, and it was like, hey, Chrome's reloading this page.
Hey, you hit F5?
Hey.
Sorry. It took me a second to realize that wasn't you talking right now. Like, didn't you just say that? Oh, shit. My page refreshed. Sorry, I apologize.
Well, hey, see, we were talking bad about the YouTube algorithm, and it was like, all right, fucker, we're gonna ruin your show.
How dare you say that while you're on Chrome?
Totally random thing that made me think of, but like, people have been posting their favorite giant bomb memories since basically all but one of the founders left or leaving this week. And there was one where they were using, how you could kind of nest stuff on the Xbox One when it first launched.
Oh yeah, that video.
And so they had their video stream, and then like they nested another one in it that was like offset by a few seconds, and then another one, and then another one, and another one, and it was just like this nightmare of echoing things.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'd let that go for like 6 straight minutes too.
I know. I watched all of them.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. I will miss their content. We've been discussing it in the Discord. Like, we don't know where the hell they go from here. What they do and what the people who are leaving are going to do, all that.
Yeah. Be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty sure at least one of them is going to be a consultant at a video game company. They mentioned that, or they were talking about too many other people that went to do that during the final episode, that for that not to be somebody's plans accidentally being said.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was weird. I felt oddly emotional, like listening to them reminisce about being on the show. And I was like, man, that kind of, I could feel like if any of us ever left the BMFcast, it would feel like that as well, and
cringe.
Yeah. And it would be total cringe. It would totally be woke cringe.
Fucking emotions.
Yeah. Man.
Speaking of emotions,
Yeah.
you can give yourself happy ones if you go to our website, bmfcast.com, because it's where all our stuff is.
It is.
And
It
you
is
like
there.
stuff?
Yeah. And we have stuff there.
Yeah. And if
And
you
you know
like
where there's more stuff?
extra stuff, it's on patreon.com/BMFcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got some of them sweet dollars laying around. You might as well put one into the internet and get you some extra stuff.
Yeah, send
Yeah,
us
you
some
get extras.
send them some crypto coins and drop them in the piggy bank or whatever you kids do.
That's right. Yeah.
$3.
Stop that farm and
Yes, quit
Cash
destroying the
out.
environment. Cash
Yes.
out your Bitcoin. Quit
Yes.
destroying the environment. Sell me a fucking video card that's not burnt out. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
How'd that investment of a $1,500 video card so you could get $90 worth of Bitcoin go for you and consume $9,000 worth of electricity bills?
it's smart.
Yep.
It's very smart.
Yeah. But anyway, a smart thing is $3 will get you the X-Men podcast that Chuck and I do.
That's very
Where we
smart.
Read some old comics and make jokes. $5 gets you the Doctor Who podcast, which we are in the Matt Smith era now. So you will also have access to all the archives, which is a whole lot of episodes going back to the beginning of Eccleston's era.
Vast.
And we don't talk about any problematic people from any of those episodes because we didn't know back then. So,
We didn't know.
I don't know. We mentioned
And-
Torchwood a lot.
yes.
Those were
Torchwood
problematic
itself
characters.
is problematic.
Those were problematic
we didn't know that
characters.
some of the actors
Yeah.
on it
Yeah.
were as well. But,
Right.
Yeah. And is your new YouTube show on the $5 level, Chuck?
It is.
Yes,
It's a big budget production.
it is.
We spared no
Chuck-
expense.
Yes. Chuck is the star of Take Me to Your Leaderboard, which is him playing, ranking all the video games that have ever existed for aliens.
But starting
It
somewhere
makes
in the,
more
somewhere in
sense
the
when you
middle.
watch it.
Starting
honestly.
somewhere in the middle, though. Like,
Right. Yeah. We've done about 20,000 episodes already. So we're in the mediocre phase of video
Yeah, so
games.
you're in the 17,000s somewhere
Uh-huh.
in there.
Yep.
Yeah, newest one had three
Yeah. Yeah, it
different
did.
things got ranked. Yeah.
Yes, because it was a tie.
That makes sense.
Because each game was only worth talking about for about 45 seconds.
And I will admit, I learned something. I learned that Inspector Gadget only ran for 2 seasons because of
Yeah.
your show.
2 seasons.
I could have sworn that Inspector Gadget ran for like 10 years,
Nope.
and I caught the tail end of it.
you missed
I
it
believe
by
they probably
that
produced.
much.
Yeah, they probably produced a lot of episodes in those 2 seasons, but and then they played them forever. But yeah, it was not a long running show at all.
It did have some sort of reboot, right? Like somewhere along the way. I feel like
The
Nickelodeon
Matthew
brought it back.
Broderick movie.
They had a Disney movie. They did some animated specials.
I thought they brought the cartoon back to like whatever.
There
Nickelodeon
have been
or
some
something.
variants
Whatever.
of Inspector Gadget along the way. So yeah, I learned way too much about Inspector Gadget.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Did you learn that the real inspector was the friends we made along the way?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I just now.
Okay.
So, but anyway, yeah, all those things you can get there for money. But our main show will always be free,
Yes.
and next week it's going to be good because this show is over.
It has to be good.
Yes. So yeah, come join us next week. We'll get back to posting
Well, join us.
another Patreon thing that you can, I think it's the $3 level, but you'll get an advance warning of what the movie is, and you can
That's right.
watch it and be ready to go.
Mhm.
So
I forgot all about that.
yeah.
I think I'm gonna try to give myself a haircut in honor of like having people in my house again.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You should do that live on the air.
Nah,
Don't.
it's not.
Okay.
It's not gonna be.
It was
that
a
exciting.
thought. I don't know. Content.
Nope.
I mean, I have attempted it a couple other times, but I'm gonna try it like properly for reals this time yet, because I'm still not to like I want to go get my haircut, or a massage or things like that. Like there's some contact that maybe is not good yet. I mean, I'm saying like there's maybe some social distancing that needs to maybe happen.
I will say I have had 3 haircuts
Have you?
since being vaccinated, and it's gone well.
Okay. I mean,
Like the place that I go, it has actually, you keep the mask on the whole time. They're very.
I was kind of wondering
how do they cut around your ears
I was
with the
kind
mask
of
on?
wondering how that works with the mask.
You kind of just hold it off your ear for a second when they ask you to, and then snap it back into place. So lets all the COVID in your face.
So maybe bring a mask you don't mind getting all hairy, because I mean it's going to be fucking.
Oh, I got some of those. Yeah.
Yeah, hairy mask.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the snowman?
Yeah, we call that the gorilla mask.
Yeah.
You mean hairy hole?
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, hairy hole.
Hairy mask.
I am a hairy mask.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank all of you for sticking with us through this. I know this is not our primary content. This has been the second half expanded out to a full show.
Mm-hmm.
We may not even have a second half. We've done so many second halves now. We might just come into like all first halves for a while and just be like, hey, fuck you, we're going home. Fuck this new shit.
Depends on how it goes. It's quite possible.
I don't know. Honestly, we may break it. I mean, we have to do some talking, but I was just thinking we might separate them into separate shows, perhaps. I was just saying, like, expedite the time that we're here, the committal, like, get the meat and the gravy, like, in here, like, watch the movie, get the communal experience, come talk about it. I feel like the other shit we could do on another night remotely. We're just calling it a separate thing.
It's possible. So
I
we're
feel
not
like
there till midnight.
We're discussing. We're talking about how the sausage is made on the air, but that's who we are. We're up front.
Well, I mean, one thing like the whole COVID thing has proved that we can still do this via Skype. You know, and I feel like it's rare now that we're like, oh no, you go ahead, you do that. You know, like we don't talk over each other as much as I thought we would. Even in the beginning, I feel like we kind of clicked in really quickly doing it. And I just, we had always avoided Skype shows because we're like, nah, it's much better in the studio. And it still is. However, it's not the worst. Like I kind of thought when we switched to Skype, it would be the worst. And it hasn't been.
It's better than I thought it would be. Our timing will still be a little off on stuff. You can tell when someone's holding back saying something that they would throw out in the studio because you knew you could get it in. But yeah, it's fine. We're pros. We know what we're doing.
Well, and Chuck, honestly, thank you for editing all this shit.
Oh man,
I know like having separate files coming from different sources and timings and all that stuff sucks.
Let me tell you,
I know how editing sucks when it's a straight. Here's a linear recording. Everything's good. I know how much editing can suck, but
I cannot fucking wait until we are all back on the same recording device with the same microphones
and the same timing.
You have no idea how frustrating it is to run levels on audio files where it's like, okay, these are all hitting the same level, but this one is 10 times louder than the other. It's just capped at, minus 6 dB or whatever. It's still blasting everybody out. And it's a goddamn nightmare. And I can't wait. I'm throwing this computer in the river with this episode.
Well,
don't do that.
I want you to know, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because you think about like on my end, at least, it's like, all right, we're done recording. It's 10:35, going to bed. See ya. And it's like tomorrow, Chuck has to put all the shit together.
Yeah, this will be my entire day tomorrow. Is assembling this podcast.
And and it's like that with every episode. But I just want I at least appreciate it. BJ probably doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck. But
clearly he's not here, so therefore he doesn't give a shit.
Not appreciate your efforts. But I want you to know that I do, Chuck.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, we call that Cockham's razor. If you're not here, then you're just automatically it's like the worst opinion.
Yeah. Too many episode titles. Stop it.
Oh man.
All right. This variety hour
next week's gonna be weird.
We're gonna ease back into it.
But you've chosen like our first month worth, right?
Yes, our first month is set in stone. I think it's a good lineup.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we're easing back into it, and you'll understand that next week.
Okay.
All right. Well, guess let's get out of here then, shall we?
Yes, sir.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. Well, wait, I was supposed to say Variety Hour.
This is BMFcast Variety.
Man, we're gonna have our theme song back and everything.
I know. I'm gonna get emotional just editing that first episode.
All right. We usually let this roll and banter for a bit, but I know everyone wants to go, so I'm going to stop the stream so I can ask a couple of things that are inside baseball-y before we hang up.
Yep.
Good night.
I'm saying good night to the
YouTube.
stream, not good night to you guys just yet.
We'll see you
Thanks
next
for
week with a
watching,
real
everybody.
show.